Coming up, the final act in a more than 3-year saga starring former Ipswich Mayor Paul Pasali had its final curtain on September 30. How the mighty have fallen, and fallen hard. It's Thursday, October 1, 2020, and I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. Paul Pasali's fall from grace is now complete, with his sentencing on September 30 in Ipswich District Court by Judge Lynch. There hasn't been a more high-profile fall from public office in Queensland in recent times. Pasali's case exposed his goings-on, which were in stark contrast to the public image he wished to be portrayed. Politics at all levels is a rough and tough game. Many of the standards of civility, courtesy and anti-discrimination we expect in the workplace are blatantly ignored by many politicians, even to this day. In Paul Pasali's case, I believed he started out well-intentioned, and as each 4-year term passed, he became more emboldened. He reminded me of a naughty schoolboy who hooked up with the wrong crowd in the schoolyard and played on their terms instead of staying on the right side of the tracks. I worked in council leading a small media relations team for the entire time he was mayor. A key part of my job description was to provide support for the mayor and councillors. Over the years, the jealousy from other councillors towards Pasali was palpable. He was the mayor of the city, and he often reminded me of that fact, with a few expletives thrown in, like, "I'm the effing mayor. Should I suggest another councillor logically share the media spotlight?" Council's media policy at the time stated that should there be a dispute over who is quoted, then the mayor would make that final decision. People do have short memories, and Pasali wasn't always widely known outside the city. After he was elected mayor in 2004, it was a steady process of matching good news stories about Ipswich with the new mayor at the time, who already had some experience with the media. Pasali generally always made time for journalists and never kept them waiting during his mayoralty. His quirky coffee cups, among other things, made for a steady media diet, which met council's aim of positive images and stories about the city. In a sense, no different to the many positive stories about Ipswich now, which are featured on council's own website, Ipswich First. It could be argued that coffee cups had nothing to do with the running of the city, and while that is true, it was accepted at the highest levels of council that it was part of my job at the time to facilitate media responses. The revelations in court these past 2 weeks have shocked, surprised, and led to the extreme disappointment of many, me included. While working closely with him on media issues, I was certainly not his keeper. I could go days without seeing him, with contact limited to phone and emails. I was asked recently about Pasali's dark side. Others are, and were, in a much better position to comment. His sentencing to 7.5 years jail by Judge Dennis Lynch has been widely reported in all media. Charges including official corruption and receiving a secret commission, and a variety of other sentences for charges of fraud, perjury, unlawful possession of a sex drug, and sexual assault. To most, if not all, Ipswich residents, the man who they trusted implicitly to lead the city let them down big time. Importantly, he let every employee of Ipswich City Council down. These past 3 or more years have been tough on all of them. Staff, so far removed from the mayor's office, were copping abuse just while standing in a supermarket checkout aisle in their uniforms. I also copped abuse from the public just for wearing a council-branded shirt. Paul Pasali could still have had the world at his feet. His greed and willingness to be swayed by illicit gains has left a permanent stain on the reputation of Ipswich. In time, this will fade, but should never be forgotten. Paul Pasali will be eligible for parole in October 2022, after the court considered his age, pleas of guilty, and the steps Paul Pasali has made to right his wrongs. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. You can subscribe for free and share this podcast from your favourite app, including iHeartRadio, or play Ipswich Today from your smart speaker. Suggestions are welcome for future interviews and topics. Just go to the Ipswich Today website or Facebook page and leave a message. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thanks for listening.